Greetings and welcome to the top of the Kite building, right in front of the Marunouchi side of Tokyo Station, on a beautiful day in the city of Tokyo. How you doing, everybody? In this live stream, I'm going to be talking about the changes in the JR East rail passes for 2021. I'm also going to be telling you a really interesting story about that building behind us. So you're going to want to watch to the end as I explain to you this. But while I talk about the passes, we're going to be walking around this really beautiful area, which gives you almost a 365-degree view of the city of Tokyo from this area, which is fascinating. And you also get an amazing view of the Shinkansen right down here as they pull into Tokyo Station, going to destinations as far as Kagoshima on one side and Hokkaido on the other side. But most of the changes with the passes are involving JR East Tohoku area pass and also the JR East Nagano Niigata passes. There's a lot of them, so buckle in for the next 20 minutes or so as I go through as many of them as I can. And oh, here we go. You already see a Shinkansen from this. This is a much better viewpoint than being down at the base of Marunouchi Station in Tokyo Station. You can see all of the Shinkansens from here. So I think if I get over to that corner over there, we're gonna have an amazing view. So starting on April 1st, 2021, as we see the Tokaido Shinkansen start to make its way going towards Osaka. And there's the Yamanote line as well. Starting on April 1st, 2021, there's gonna be some big changes to the rail passes, especially in this region, which is JR East. JR East is the Tokyo area, and it goes up towards Tohoku, including parts of, I believe, Niigata and Nagano. It's pretty exciting, and there goes the rest of the Shinkansen. That's the Yamagata Shinkansen? No, hold on. Oh gosh, sometimes I forget which Shinkansen that is. Could be the Hokuriku Shinkansen or the Joetsu Shinkansen. There's so many different kinds of Shinkansen. On April 1st, the passes will change. The pass that is most interesting to me is the JR East rail pass for the Tohoku area. Tohoku includes Aomori, Iwate, Akita, Miyagi, Fukushima, and Yamagata. Did I get that right? All 6 of the prefectures up there. It's an area that was really hit hard during the Great Tohoku earthquake of March 11th, 2011, one which I had to live through and went up there to help volunteer some of the recovery soon after that. We're going to be remembering the 10th anniversary of that event coming up. And I'm going to be working with JR East to promote some of this new rail pass, which is super exciting because for the first time, foreign residents living here in Japan, not on a tourist visa, have access to this pass. Now, last year, Japan JR East started a welcome rail pass, which allowed for 3 days of travel for 12,000 yen, or about $120. That was the first time outside of the Tokyo Wide Pass that I had access to a rail pass. And of course, the Seishun Jachi Keep, which is a local train pass that allows you 5 days of consecutive travel on local trains only that even Japanese can use. But this pass really opened up Tohoku to me, and I was able to make a couple of Only in Japan episodes using it. Now, with this pass, it opens up travel for longer periods of time. So this one pass that I'm going to introduce you to first. See here, I got the information right here. Wahaha. Is the JR East Tohoku Pass. And this pass on the top here, 20,000 yen is the price for it. It departs, I mean, you can pick up this ticket almost anywhere. Inside of Tokyo Station, there's about 3 windows, I believe you can do. In the front, near the Japan Rail Cafe. You can also get the ticket in Japan on the Marunouchi North entrance or exit. And there's also across from there another tour area sales point where you can get that ticket as well. Those places close at 4 p.m. So you might want to get that ticket pretty early. But more importantly, you can get those tickets online. And there is a link in the description of this video where you can go and check out those tickets, purchase them online, and then you can pick them up even at Ueno Station, there is a vending machine where you show your passport and pick it up. Now, there are a couple of things that you have to remember with these passes. We can go over here and have a seat. And again, I want you to stay tuned because that station back there, really, really interesting story that ties Tokyo Station with Tohoku. I was shocked when I first heard this story, so you're gonna wanna stick around for the next, I guess I'll get to it in about 5 or 6 minutes. All right, so we're not allowed to use this as a bench. All right, it's okay. So, now that I have two hands, let's go over some of this news. On April 3rd, I'm gonna be doing a rail adventure. This is the coolest thing in the world. Some of you might have seen a press release where on Japan Today, which is a big news site for news here in Japan in English. On April 3rd, I will be departing from Tokyo Station to Shin Aomori on a ceremonial Shinkansen that I will be riding with my friend Peter, and 100 people are invited to ride this train. This is super cool, and I don't think we've ever done anything like this before. Check it out. So this is the banner for it, and you can actually see this on the Japan Rail website. I'll put the link in the description too. If you're interested, you can check out that press release that came out about a week ago. We're going to be riding, and the purpose of this is to help promote the new pass, but more importantly, help promote Tohoku and tourism up there. And you can see there I am in the corner. I'm going to be, I'm a popular YouTuber. That's nice. And then we're going to 100 people can ride with me and join. Actually, we've already had 100 people sign up, but only 20 have paid. So you actually have to pay in order to get this ticket. So there's still some available, despite the fact that we've gotten 100 people already quite interested. But this trip is going to start on April 3rd, and it is a bargain. It's 15,000 yen. And I was talking with the people from Japan Rail about this. This is so cool. Check this out. So you don't just get, here it is right here. You don't just get a pass. You're gonna get this. Where is it? I was in my pocket. Oh, here it is. You're gonna get this welcome suica, which I've never seen this before because I live in Japan. These are for tourists usually. It's a 28-day suica pass, so you can only use this for 28 days and it expires. But you get to and then after it expires, you get to keep the pass and take it home. The reason why is because you don't have to pay the 500 yen deposit, and a lot of tourists would pay the deposit and they had to depart for their airplane and not get that 500 yen back, so they made this special. But if you join us on this trip, you get one of these welcome suicas too, because suica is pretty cool. Next up, you get this mask, and this is the first time for me to see this mask. You do get swag toward Toro Porco. You absolutely get swag. I'm kind of excited about this. You get a special Japan Rail mask that celebrates Tohoku. Check this out. This is so festive. So you get one of these, which you can wear proudly all around the entire country of Japan. But more importantly, Tohoku, because that's where we're going to be going on this trip. So you get this mask, and you get a Japan JR East rail pass for the Tohoku area as well, which is super cool. And it's a 5,000 yen savings on the price of the pass. Your pass will start on April 3rd. So you have 5 days after it starts on April 3rd to explore Tohoku. And we're hoping that the 100 people on this special Shinkansen train, this is our train, all right? So it's just gonna be us on there. This special pass, you're going to be able to start your Tohoku adventure, which means with this pass, you can explore Tohoku on the Shinkansen as much as you want, mostly geared towards foreign residents of Japan. So if you're living here in Japan, there goes the Shinkansen right there, you get a chance to ride the Shinkansen for 5 days for 20,000 yen, or sorry, for 15,000 yen, which is a discount on the price, which is really, really incredible. There's a lot of perks to doing this, so I hope I see you all there. Part of the visit to Tohoku, find Japan. And there's some information here. You get a 20,000 yen pass, a 1,000 yen welcome suica. It's part of the swag. You get a 5% off from goods at the cafe items at the Japan Rail Cafe, which is actually pretty cool. Grab a coffee, and you get this mask. This is the first time I've seen the mask in real life. It's pretty comfortable. Yeah, and then on the 3rd, there's a ceremony on the platform, which I'm gonna be live streaming to you, which is gonna be really awesome. And we only ask that you share some of the stuff on your trip, which you're probably gonna do anyways on Instagram or something. It's pretty cool. So all of this information is in the link that I have below. I'm pretty excited about sharing with you that trip going up to Tohoku. So Peter and I will be live streaming on the platform on April 3rd. I hope you join us for that. It's gonna be pretty exciting. Some of the other changes with the passes. So one of the biggest changes that I noticed when I got the rail pass a couple of days ago, I went up to, oh, check it out! Dr. Yellow! This is so rare! This happens like, oh, that's so rare! I'm blown away. That's a train that checks the integrity of the tracks. Dr. Yellow is what it's called. And they don't have a schedule on that, so you just see that by chance. Maybe that's the 3rd or 4th time in my 23 years that I've seen that go by. That's kind of, in itself, big news. It's not the Pokemon Shinkansen. Who wrote that? All right, let's get back to business here. So the rail passes, the normal, and I'm gonna take some of your questions. The normal Japan rail pass is JR East and the JR all country rail pass, nothing has changed. This is a pass that will stay the way it was, and if you have taken a JR rail pass for the entire country before, that's gonna be the same. The rail passes that have had the biggest changes are the JR East rail pass for the Tohoku area, the JR East rail pass for the Nagano Niigata area. Both those two passes will now allow foreign residents of Japan to utilize the Shinkansen, and this is a first and kind of big news. You can get those passes at any of the windows that are selling it for tourists, but especially in the north entrance of the Marunouchi side of the station. Second big change with the pass. There was the kind like the Japan Rail Pass where in order to exit the turnstiles to get out, you had to show a station staff the pass. The new tickets are now magnetic, meaning they can go through the ticket gates. So you don't have to wait for somebody to check your pass. You can go straight through. So this should make your transition from getting from the train and out into the station a lot faster, because sometimes there could be quite a queue to get out of the station in front of that area. Let's turn around and look at the station while I go over some of this news. You don't need to see the masked man. You can see some of these Shinkansen. I'm still blown away that we just saw Dr. Yellow. You have no idea how rare that is. Wow. I'm super stoked about that. So here's the information on that. Passes until now, you had to show to the station master at the exit gates, but now there are more ticket types, so you just have to show, you don't have to show anybody, you just exit, which makes it super easy. And those are passes that are starting, they're not gonna be sold until April 1st. I think the JR East Welcome Rail Pass is being sold right now, and you have until the 26th to buy that one. That's also can be used at the ticket gates. There are a bunch of other passes here in the JR East side of things. JR East Pass Tokyo area, JR East Pass Nagano Niigata area. JR Tokyo Wide Pass is changed. It's gone from a paper pass that you had to show to now a ticket you can use at the ticket gates to get out. The Narita Express Tokyo round trip ticket also. I think you can. Oh, you can't use the automatic gates for that one. It's a lot of information. Wow, there's always so many Shinkansen on the platforms. It's super cool. Frank the Tank's here. Drinking a 500 milliliter Asahi. Good man. On April 3rd, by the way, Peter and I are going to be getting a bunch of Ekiben. So that's going to be pretty exciting. Oh, I got the price list as trains battle. Who's going to be first? Oh, the Yamanote line's losing to the Keihin Tohoku line. Check it out. This is such an exciting point. for a train otaku like myself. Here are the prices of the passes. I think I wanted to go over this one more time. I'm very analog with these live streams. The JR East Rail Pass in Japan with tax, it's 20,360 yen. And for overseas visitors, there's a little bit of a discount. I think this has to do with the taxes, so you're not getting shafted here. But the new price, that was the previous price, but the new price is just an even 20,000 yen. You can see very easily on the graph here. This includes the Tohoku area and the Nagano Niigata area. And the Nagano Niigata area pass is even a little bit cheaper. But keep in mind, the Tohoku area is huge. So you're going to get a lot more travel on this one. The Hokuriku Arch Pass has been simplified, but this is not available to foreign residents of Japan, only tourists. So this is available. This Hokuriku, by the way, is Kanazawa, if you're not sure. That'll arch over from Tokyo, going towards the Sea of Japan. JR East to South Hokkaido Rail Pass, that price has been simplified. And I'm going to talk about the third change in a second here. And the Tohoku South Hokkaido Rail Pass, again, the price has gone up, but you get more for it. So they've realized that people are using the passes, they want longer extended periods. So it's now 6-day pass instead of a 5-day pass, which is actually good news because Hokkaido, you kind of need that extra day. So those are the prices for it. Again, the JR Rail Pass, the typical one that includes the entire country, the price has not changed. The third big change, you ready for this? The third big change is the JR East Pass for the Tohoku area used to have two kinds of them. There used to be a 5 days within a 2-week period and then a 5-day consecutive. The pass is now consolidated into only 5-day consecutive. So you can start that pass, I believe, at any time. Once you go through the tickets, it starts the pass, I believe. And then you have 5 days to use the pass, meaning you can't break it off. So actually, it's a bargain in itself. One trip on the Shinkansen from Tokyo Station to Shin Aomori, which is up in the north, the furthest point I believe you can go on this pass with the Shinkansen, yes, Shin Aomori, and where we're going to be going on April 3rd, that's 14,000 yen. So a one-way trip just to Shin Aomori costs almost the entire price of the pass. And then you have 4 more extra days to go and explore wherever you want to go. So that's the advantages to using this pass. You have 5 days to use it, so it's endless, the possibilities. You don't have to use just the Shinkansen. You also have access to all the other trains. In fact, I think it was 4 months ago, I took a luxury train, which is amazing. You got to see this live stream, from Akita to Aomori on the other side of Japan, right, on the Sea of Japan side. And that trip took us through some of the most scenic places. I tried to live stream the entire trip, but the signal kind of cut off in the countryside. You might want to check out that live stream if you're a big train otaku like myself. Wow, there's so many places. Now I want to show you the map. And we will discuss this on the Discord server. I'm sure people are going to be talking about this. This is a map of Tohoku, the 6 prefectures. This is where the JR East Pass for the Tohoku area is where it opens up. Again, Tokyo is right here. That's the main hub, and it does connect with, I guess you can use it in Narita. So the local trains in Chiba are all available. Chiba doesn't have any Shinkansen trains, but from Narita you can get into Tokyo and then jump on a train and start to go north. Places that are included in the JR East Tohoku area pass are Omiya, which is Saitama, Fukushima, Sendai, Morioka right up there, and Shin Aomori. And you can, at Morioka, go cut across to Akita by Shinkansen, and you can also get to Yamagata. Do you see here? At Fukushima, the train splits off and goes towards Yamagata, I believe. You can get to Yonezawa, get some beef there. Some of the best beef in Japan, Wagyu. You can also go towards Ichigo Yuzawa, which is an incredible place. I was just there last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? Really good skiing in that area, nice onsen. So this is the map. You can see this on the JR East website as well. The link is in the description. Information there. So I asked on Twitter if there were any questions and I got a few. I'm kind of new to Twitter, so there aren't too many. So let's see what they have as the Narita Express pulls in to Tokyo Station right there. Oh, what a beautiful day to be out here on the roof of the Kite building. Okay, here we go. So thanks for supplying these questions on hashtag AskOIJ. So if you have any questions on Twitter, you can go ahead here. Birth of an official tagging. Is that Satrio? I hope you're doing well. Satrio got COVID, I believe, and has been recovering. So we're all hoping you're doing better, my friend. Otter, aka Maranglat, writes in here, can you do a quick table of comparison in the video of the old rail passes? So I think I showed you the table a little bit, but for the Japan Rail East, JR East rail passes, the three changes, this is a good question. The three main changes are the price, the fact that it's gone from a paper ticket that you have to show the station staff to a electrical magnetic ticket that can go through there without having to show the station master, which makes it easier to go from one to the other. The days have consolidated into a 5-day consecutive pass, and foreign residents living here in Japan can use this pass because we want everybody to get up to Tohoku and enjoy themselves, have a lot of fun, especially on April 3rd with me and Peter. It's gonna be fun. Good question. Next. Sorry K writes in here, is this pass gives you unlimited rides in a given days? So, what this pass allows you to do is to ride the Shinkansen in Tohoku as much as you want for 5 consecutive days for 20,000 yen. Again, one trip from Tokyo to Shin Aomori is about 14,000 yen. So if you were to ride to Shin Aomori and back 8 times, that would be 14,000 times 8. So you just do the math. It does not include the green car or the grand class. Just to point it out, you have to ride with everybody else. And you can get seat reservations in advance. One of the great things that JR East has done, and I think Japan Rail in total, is they've made it possible for you with a rail pass to make seat reservations at the vending machines. So if you want to get a seat reservation, you don't have to go and wait for a staff member at a window. You can just go to the vending machines and make it. If you need help, you can ask staff to help you out. I've had to do that the first time, but once you learn how to make the seat reservations, again, the menu system is in English to make it really easy, and I think Chinese, maybe Thai and Korean as well, so there's other regional languages that make this a lot easier, so you don't have to stumble with it. That's been something that's been super helpful, to be able to do everything at a vending machine. So I can catch a Shinkansen maybe 10 minutes before it departs and get to the platform and get to my seat pretty smoothly. I would recommend you give yourself more time. I'm sort of used to this. I think all of you know that. All right, check out this one here. Champ writes in here, are you going live tonight? Yes. And what is it like living in Japan? Champ, that is a deep, deep question. I don't think I can answer this in... I've answered this question in 4 years of live streams. Thousands of hours of content. It's kind of sad. I spend most of my time live streaming at least almost an hour a day, sharing with you life in Japan as the Tohoku Shinkansen pulls in right there. Now, Tohoku Shinkansen is interesting because it goes the other direction. This is the start of it, just like the Tohoku Shinkansen, the Tokaido Shinkansen. But the Tohoku Shinkansen also makes a stop at Ueno Station, and the Tokaido Shinkansen makes a stop at Shinagawa Station. So you can catch these at one other station inside of Tokyo, which is also a good point. If your hotel is in Asakusa or Ueno or up in the Shitamachi area, you don't have to catch it at Tokyo Station. You can get over to Ueno Station and catch it there. Yeah. Happy writes in here, beautiful mask. Thank you. Wow, what a beautiful day, isn't it? We're going to walk around now a little bit, and I'll take some more of your questions. McCannon Earl writes in here, thanks, long time, haven't seen alive, happy to be here. Glad that you're here too. Wow, it's nice. Frank the Tank is here. Tortoro Porco. You must have a special commemorative Ekiben for the Shinkansen. Thank you for bringing that up. Actually, there is a Shinkansen Ekiben, and I'm going to be sharing that with you on the train. I'm going to be making an Only in Japan edited video out of this experience, eating different Ekiben from the Tohoku regions. So there is one special Ekiben on this commemorative trip on that. I don't know if I want to share this information with you because this is part of the April 3rd live stream where I'm going to share more information about the past. But Japan Rail every year seems to have a very special Ekiben. And this is the one from the area that's judged as being the one that they're going to sell for the year. I don't know too much about it, but on April 3rd, I'll show you this Ekiben, which is a reason to subscribe to the channel. It's pretty exciting. All right, let's walk around now, and I want to share with you a story about the roof of Tokyo Station on the Marunouchi side. I'm so excited about this trip coming up on April 3rd. Peter's pretty excited too. We might be riding in the Grand Class as well. Just check it out. Do you see the roof here? This is the Marunouchi side of Tokyo Station. And Tokyo Station is very, very strongly connected with Tohoku, the area up north of Tokyo here. Chicago Africans in the house. John, get yourself a beer and Kanai a drink at the end of this live stream. You got it. You got it. And Raymond Centeno with the new pass. Do you have to use the Midori no Maruguchi to make seat reservations, or you can do it online? Raymond, you can do it at the vending machines. I don't think you can do them online yet, but you can do them at the vending machines. So it's very easy to grab your seat reservations. Just enter in the information, pick a seat that you want to sit at. It prints it out for you. And they're free if you have a pass. That's a good question. So you see the tiles on the top of the roof of the Marunouchi building? Again, this was built back in the early 20th century. I think it was like 1912. And it was a famous backdrop of Babe Ruth when he came to visit Japan in 1934. He was in a convertible car with thousands and thousands of people out here with his big Babe Ruth smile celebrating as he was driving towards the Imperial Palace. The roof tiles here were made in Ishinomaki in Miyagi Prefecture in Tohoku. The black tiles that you see on the top of the roof. And in 2011, during the tsunami, they were renovating the station here. Those tiles were washed away by the tsunami. They were scattered all over Ishinomaki, the area where they were producing it. And after the tsunami, the water had resided and gone back out, and they were cleaning up the area. The staff worked so hard up there in Ishinomaki to collect up the tiles and get them together so they can complete the job. So the roof of Tokyo Station is very much connected with what happened on March 11th, 2011. So when you come to Tokyo Station, look up at the roof here on this side and just give a little bit of appreciation, knowing that all these tiles came from Ishinomaki, which is a beautiful area of Miyagi Prefecture, and people worked really hard to make sure that they finished the job. Despite being in such a terrible situation, they were still thinking about their jobs. They're thinking about their families. They're thinking about their lives. And wow, how important it was for them to get those tiles and finish the job, and here it is. And now the top of the roof of Marunouchi is completed. And when I look at it, it is kind of moving to see those tiles and to celebrate the hard work of the people in Ishinomaki. That makes me really happy to see. I didn't know about this till just a few weeks ago when they told me. They said, John-san, do you know about the roof of Tokyo Station? And I said, no, I don't. I said, well, guess what? Those tiles come from Ishinomaki. It's very interesting. Plush Vader's in the house. There isn't a new tower going up somewhere near there, isn't there? Yes. Over there, in about 5 years or so from now, you're going to see a big new tower, which is Japan's tallest tower, 350 meters high, half the size of the Tokyo Skytree. It'll be towering these skyscrapers that are already here. I think it's called the Flame Tower or something like that. That's going to be going up, starting construction pretty soon, and you'll see this towering over Tokyo Station. But just keep in mind Ishinomaki, and that's the point That's a very famous place on the coast of Tohoku that was very much affected by the tsunami, and that's a place where I was also volunteering. Torch Tower. Thank you, Jonathan Chong. It's called Torch Tower. Thank you for that. Do you have any questions before we end this live stream? As a questions, I'm gonna walk around and show you some of the platform here. Wayne, I did not give Peter back his helmet because he didn't answer my 3 riddles on the comment section of the video yesterday. In fact, if somebody else answers the riddles, I guess I'm gonna be giving them Peter's helmet. I told him. I think he's pretty busy today. Plush Vadar's a new insider. Thank you, Plush. I appreciate the support. Any questions on the JR East rail passes? I'm happy to answer them while I'm walking around. I do have the new postcard for this month. If you can't make it to Japan, you can go on Patreon and get a postcard club. This is the one for this month. Beautiful scene from Matsue Castle. Just got them in today. Sending them out this weekend. Nice cherry blossom stamp on there too on the back. Any rumors when Japan will open for tourists? Not quite sure yet, but I'm hopeful it'll be sooner, maybe October. I really don't know. I know Qantas Airlines said something about flights returning in October. Still a discount to buy them before you arrive. I'm not sure, Lee, about that. Right now, the only discount that we have is for this campaign on April 3rd. The commemorative train that's going up to Tohoku. If you are living in Japan and you have some time, definitely join us. It's going to be so much fun. Only 100 people on the train, so I think you're going to be able to be safe because it's quite a large train. Could residents get other versions of the pass? What do you mean by that? So let me take off this one because my nose keeps popping out. So for foreign residents, there are the Tokyo Wide Pass, which is still available. That gives you a very limited range around here, but you can ride the Shinkansen to Eichiko Yuzawa, which is quite far. It also, Karuizawa in Nagano is also included in the Tokyo Wide Pass. That's 10,000 yen or so for this one, a little bit more than $100 for 3 days of consecutive travel in this area. It also includes Utsunomiya and Nikko, which is also a good pass. That's open to foreign residents. Also open to foreign residents is the JR East Pass for the Tohoku area and the JR East Pass for the Nagano Niigata area. Those 2 passes are new this year. And then there's the Seishun Jihachi Keep, which is the 5-day consecutive local train pass, which I love. If you want adventure, that's one of my favorite passes. That's only $120 for 5 days of consecutive travel on local trains. You can't use the Shinkansen, but that's open to foreign residents, and I've been using that pass for 23 years. It's one of my favorites. What else you got? It's a good question. So I'm panning around here. Disneyland is open, but you have to get a ticket by lottery, so it's hard to get in there right now. I have tried. The name of this building is Kitte, K-I-T-T-E, which is stamp in Japanese. This is the headquarters to Japan Post in Tokyo, and this is the site of where the International Post Office has been for quite a long time, just outside of the Marunouchi side of Tokyo Station. That building there is Tokyo Station, modeled what many believe to be modeled after Central Station in Amsterdam. So it has a very European look to it on this side. And the other side, you see the canopy there? That's the Yaisu side of Tokyo Station. Again, the Japan Rail Cafe is on that side. It's a new place that I might be live streaming in there at the end of April to talk about the commemorative trip with Peter sometime in April. So it's kind of cool that they've opened that up to me to be able to live stream and bring you some episodes from inside the cafe. Any recommendations when first time in Japan? Alvin writes in here, Tohoku? Can I say Tohoku? First time in Japan, I'll tell you this, okay? A lot of people typically do the same trip when they come to Japan. They fly into either Kansai, Osaka, or they fly into Tokyo. Then they do Tokyo, Kyoto, like Nara, Himeji, Hiroshima maybe, and then they fly out. I'm gonna tell you, try to do something different. Kyoto is beautiful, but Kanazawa I thought was even more personable, like more, it felt a lot closer. And Kanazawa also has a history of geisha, also has a history of ocha, green tea. It has a lot of the same traditions as Kyoto, just it's different. And I thought it was a lot cheaper and a lot less crowded than Kyoto. But on that topic, if you go up to places like Tohoku, especially if you're a repeater and you've already been to Japan, places like up in Aomori, up in Oma, which has some of the best maguro in the country. If you go to Akita, Ogahanto, the peninsula, has a really unique culture of cuisine where they take hot rocks and they use that to boil miso soup, which was pretty amazing, as well as the ogre, the demon culture up there is pretty strong. There's such a strong culture up in Tohoku. I'm gonna say, maybe look at spending some time in the countryside, staying at a Japanese traditional inn called a ryokan. That experience at a ryokan is the one you're gonna remember the most because you're gonna feel the most like you're in Japan with the service, the food, the rooms, the tatami rooms, and the culture of bathing if you're okay with that. Did Illuminate Gaming, did Tokyo, Osaka, and Hiroshima for my 3 days. Need to hit Kyoto and want to get more into the countryside next time. Let's see here. Any last questions? Got a little bit of time. Do you get from Kanazawa to Hakone and vice versa? From Kanazawa? I don't know. That's kind of far. I guess you can take a train. Take the Shinkansen back to Tokyo and then take another train from Tokyo or Shinjuku to Kanazawa. What bid are you shooting at? What do you mean? Thanks, John. I'll add these to my bucket list. Great. Thanks, Alvin. Good question. When do you think Japan will open up to tourists? I don't know, but again, Qantas Airlines from Australia is planning to open up the route from Australia to Tokyo in October, according to a press release. Other than that, it really is dependent on the situation. Even the Olympics yesterday or the day before, they were saying that it's possible that they won't have any international tourists coming into Japan for the Olympic Games as the Tokaido Shinkansen takes off in the distance there. It's a good question. I really don't know. A lot of it is dependent on this, but one thing that we do know is that we strongly believe by 2022 tourism will start up again, and there's a good chance in the fall it will as well. I don't know. Maybe by October. It's just hard to predict. After the Olympics, maybe the Paralympics, which I'm more excited about than the Olympics itself. The Paralympics will have tourism. I'm just not sure. We got to wait for those announcements. When are you going to Hokkaido again? Wow, I wanted to go to Hokkaido this year, but we're actually in a state of emergency. Right now, the city of Tokyo has an extension for 2 weeks. So I could go, but I'd only go if I'm invited to go up there. I'm not going any place on vacations or anything, but if I'm invited to go and film, then I will go up there to film, like I have in Akita and in Yuzawa just recently. For business, right. Has to be for business. In 2022, strong zero sales will spike together with tourists coming in. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. All right, one last question on the Japan Rail Pass, and I really appreciate it. When will your special Shinkansen be ready? So, I mean, if you check on the internet, you'll see the press release for it. I tweeted about it too. Here's the banner for it. Visit Tohoku, find Japan. Join YouTuber me on a special train as we go up to Shin Aomori, and I'm going to be filming some live streams up in Aomori. And basically this opens up domestic travel once again. I'm pretty excited about this. Again, of course, it's all contingent on the situation, but right now it's scheduled as planned, and I'm super excited about this. If you have questions, you can definitely ping me right here in the comment section on Discord. I believe I have the Discord link here. Nosh Abroad always tells me, make sure you talk about the Discord server. Oh, what a beautiful view of the station. I feel really lucky to be here right now on such a beautiful day. I'm getting kind of a suntan. Here it is right here. We have a section that talks about trains on Discord. It's all Nosh, this is not weathered well over the years. I've had this for a year. There you go. If you go here, you can also ask questions about the Japan Rail passes. The roof is open to everybody, so you can sit here, take pictures of the trains coming in. I'm still in shock that we saw Dr. Yellow. So if you want to see that in the playback, watch from the beginning. In fact, if you're in Nagoya, Dr. Yellow incoming in about an hour. It's very cool. All right, looks like that's about it. So if you do have some questions, I will 100% love to answer them on this trip and on the new passes. But in general, I'm so excited about these new passes because as a foreign resident in Japan, we really didn't have any options. But now because tourism is really at a standstill because nobody can come in here, it's really makes me happy that JR East is opened up passes so we can travel to Tohoku and areas that definitely need the tourism. I have to be honest with you, I've gotten a chance to travel to Tohoku and to other regions over the course of this pandemic to make the show. And people are so welcoming and want tourists to come back. This is the thing, the misconception. I know that we're in a really bad situation, but everybody that I talk to says they want you to come back to Japan. Everybody. And they can't wait for you to make the trip, to get on an airplane and come to visit them. All of the small businesses, the ryokan owners, the traditional Japanese inns, all of the restaurants, they're gearing up, English menus, lots more tours. It's getting easier to travel to Japan than it was 20 years ago when I first came. And when you do come, they do have, I love the countermeasures that Japan Rail is taking. I have a brochure on them. Everybody is wearing masks. There's social distancing going on. So I felt pretty safe. And the air is recycling all the time inside the Shinkansen. I felt really safe riding the trains here in Japan. Especially since people have been pretty responsible, only traveling for essential travel or for business. And the trains aren't nearly as crowded as they used to be. Exact Digital, welcome a new traveler. I'm gonna have to add a Shinkansen icon or emoji to our group as looks like the Narita Express is heading towards the airport to pick up, I don't know, workers working over there. The decrease in numbers, I'm so proud that people here are still doing their jobs really, really hard, especially on the Shinkansen. Passenger travel is down greatly compared to a year ago today. But all of them, I was just in Ueno Station filming how they clean the station. They still are doing their jobs 120%. And despite the fact that there's not a lot of people on the platforms riding the trains, you can see it's just kind of empty compared to what it would look like a year ago. So I'm happy for that. And I'm so thankful to be able to work with JR East. And I see Ruth Jarman in here and Jarman International, which is a wonderful company that's connecting the world with Japan. So proud to be a part of that all. There goes the Shinkansen. I believe that's the Yamagata Shinkansen taking off there. Yamagata Shinkansen is a little bit slower because the tracks are adjusted for them. Up there, it's not quite Shinkansen tracks, just kind of go a little bit slower up there, which is perfect. Sometimes the Shinkansen's too fast. I'm actually just waiting for the Shinkansen to take off before ending the live stream. You can see the Yamanote line. April 3rd, mark your calendars. Join me on a platform celebration. It's gonna be super awesome. I have never been on a platform celebration on Tokyo Station, so we have permission to film, which in itself is an amazing thing. Join me and Peter as we head up north. And if you're living here in Japan, I believe there's 80 spots still available. We had 100 people who are interested, but only 80 people have bought, or only 20 people have bought the tickets. So you can get that on the site, on the link that's included in this video description. Nagoya-John is a big fan. Nagoya-John, I remember you're a big fan of Ruth Jarman. And Ruth, we hope to get Ruthie back on the show. She brings a certain amount of energy, the cheerleader. Everywhere she goes, energy levels goes up like 5,000%. It's pretty amazing. If you put both of us in a live stream, it's basically just blow up the internet. All right, everybody. I'm on the top of the Kite building in Tokyo. This is the post office building. You can get up to the 6th floor. Beautiful place to watch the trains go by. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And thank you so much for everybody for watching this live stream and supporting Tohoku. The reason of this pass is one that's so dear to my heart. I'm just, again, say thank you to JR East for allowing foreign residents to be able to travel on the Shinkansen and see more of Tohoku. Because my hope, as somebody who lived in Fukushima, I lived in Iwaki 20 years ago and have friends there and know how much they're struggling. I hope that you add Tohoku on your list of places to visit when you do come to Japan. It doesn't have to be now or because of the 10-year anniversary of the tragedy that happened up there. But just for the people up there, they are super excited to see you. And when they see foreign visitors, they know that you traveled a long way to get there and that you've chosen to go to Aomori, to Iwate, to Akita, to Yamagata, to Fukushima, to Miyagi. They know that. So they're very appreciative of it. And I know that you're going to have a great experience up there. And I'm going to show you over the next few months what that spirit of Tohoku looks like. And with the help of Japan Rail, wow, it just makes that experience so cooler. You know why? Because it involves the Shinkansen. The Shinkansen. That's your cue, Shinkansen. You're supposed to take off. It involves the Shinkansen. I guess it's not quite on schedule. I know it's gonna take off. I'm just wait for it. Like the Shinkansen. As another Yamagata Shinkansen comes in. Or is that the Hokuriku Shinkansen? Yeah, the one that goes to Kanazawa. I can tell from the colors. Kanazawa is famous for the gold color, so you see the streak of gold that represents that culture. Shinkansen. It just doesn't leave on the mark here. I think if everybody clicks the like button and we get to 600 likes, I got a feeling it's going to leave by that. Let's see which works first. Can we get to 600 likes, or will the Shinkansen depart? It's up to you, community. I'm staying with you until that Shinkansen leaves. 497. It's going up fast now. It's up to you. 517. Numbers are increasing. What's it gonna be? The community of the Shinkansen, which is faster? 540. Oh, it's going up faster. 556. We're close. Can you beat the Shinkansen community? 572. Oh! No! Shinkansen! Do you understand what's going on, Shinkansen? 584. 16 away. Shinkansen, you're supposed to depart. 593. The only in Japan community defeats the Shinkansen in a battle. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with all of you. That still didn't make the Shinkansen go faster, though. 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go. Did you ever play that game? No. Just waiting here. Just standing here. Oh, there we go! Heading the wrong way to Kyoto. This is because you clicked the like button. Look what you've done. You've caused that Shinkansen to depart. How cool is that? Thanks, community. I'll see you next time in another live stream, probably tomorrow, because I'm so excited. Because I'm live in Japan and that's what we do. See you on another adventure, everybody. Thanks for the questions. またね。